Hello, my name is Marie Frank. I'm an author, kids books, living in France, and today I would like to talk about something a little bit different. In La Plagne yesterday we had a fun run for charity. So the charity is called Odysséa. It is a breast cancer charity in France. They organise fun runs around France, and not only mainland France but on the islands as well, like La Réunion. So yesterday it was our fun run in La Plagne. It was in the name of research, and the name Gustave Roussy was seen everywhere. I had to Google who this guy was. So he was a medical student in Geneva who later went on to Paris to do his studies in neurology, and then later on went on to specialize in cancer research and treatment. And there is a hospital, or an institute, Institut du Cancer in Paris, in a region called Villejuif, in his name, the Gustave Roussy. So I got there, got my registration. You got there was already a big ambience. People were still skiing. They started the races at 4:30. 4:30 is the time when the ski lifts stop. So this was a good timing. So there were still people skiing because you had to arrive in advance. This is what it looked like.
So here I am at the place where we're going to do a thing up the mountain. We're all going to go running up the mountain, and it's going to be for charity because it's for this.
People were getting their pink t-shirts and getting their registrations. I turned up, I went and got my number, my famous number, and my t-shirt and my headband. And then they had a warm-up for the children and a warm-up for the adults. The warm-up for the children, they had a mascot and they had an activity leader standing on a stage, and the children were before the stage. Next to that, they had a food tent for the children. When they did their 1K run, they could come back and have a little snack. And then after that, they had the warm-up for the adults. It looked like this. Then we had to all line up under the arch for the beginning of our fun run. And as soon as the ski lift stopped and the skiers stopped coming down, we got ready to go. So this was us at the starting point. And then we took off. So I was doing the non-timed, so it was a nice walk run, and people were in such a good mood. There were groups of women, kids, men, everybody supporting the charity. So we took off, and very soon realized that there were going to be just a few bits that were uphill then downhill. It had snowed the night before, so the snow was fresh, so fantastic for skiers and good for us, but there was a lot of snow and it was slippy. So there was one part where people were sitting down on their bottoms and sliding down the snow, which was clever. I have learned to be goat-like. I'm like a goat, and I go on my side and I take side steps down, 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 or I try to zigzag. But it was pretty slippy, so I did go for a slide, landed on my bottom, wiped out another woman, but she was okay. I asked her, I was like, "Ça va, madame? Ça va?" She was like, "Ça va." The scenery was amazing. And people took their dogs, and the dogs were loving it. I think the dogs were enjoying all the fresh snow more than any of us. We started in Plagne. We crossed down to Bellecote, and in Bellecote there is a swimming pool. It was lightly snowing, and there were people swimming in the swimming pool. So I took a quick video so that you could see. This is people in the snow swimming. We crossed Bellecote. We had to be careful in Bellecote because it was still about the 4:30, 5 o'clock mark. So skiers were coming in, and so they had volunteers where we were crossing because it would have been too dangerous. So it was well organized. There were volunteers all along. In fact, all along our 5 kilometer, we kept seeing volunteers, and they would say bon courage, which means keep going. It means good courage, I guess, if you translate it directly. But it's keep going. And it's something you say daily to people in France. Bon courage. If you see somebody working really hard, or a student who's got a lot of study to do, you say bon courage. You can do it. It's an expression of support. So once we got to Bellecote, that's where we started the ascent. Up to a place called the Du de Prat. The ascent was just a zigzag path. Going up, you go via icicles and you go via some stunning views. This is us going up, and you'll see the pink t-shirts contrasted with the white snow. It was spectacular. Everybody was going at a very reasonable pace. I was still huffing. You will hear me huffing and puffing on some of these videos.
So I've had to take off the jacket because it was so hot. So now we continue. And so now we continue just with this pink and that pink. And look how gorgeous it is up ahead of me.
I could not. I've lived here for years. I still cannot. I try to capture it all with my eyes. It's so pretty. Here we are. Once coming up to the Du de Prat, you get to a place where you see in the distance the Mont Blanc. It's crazy. There's a chain of mountains, and you see the Mont Blanc on this side, and just over there I know that it's Italy. I love it that I know in my head, if you just went 50 minutes in the car in the summertime over, it's Italy. Ciao! So you get up, and yesterday was a very atmospheric day. It was snowing slightly, the clouds were low, so the ambience was one of, everybody was so happy, but I was just soaking in the atmosphere. It's a delight. It's visually so pleasing, and it does something for my soul. Every time living here in the fresh air in the mountains, something happens where I go out and I look, and it just goes direct to my soul. It's like a lifeline of energy. I was sweating. By this stage I had taken off, so I had taken layers because I knew that I would get hot, so I was sweating by this stage. I'd taken off the jacket, I'd taken off the hat, I'd taken 2 gloves because it was cold when we had to stand around waiting for the warm-up. I'd taken off one of the gloves, and now we were on the flat, and this was a dream because you had done all the zigzagging up. So we're just walking, and I can just hear chitter chatter. I can hear French kids behind me. I can hear French husbands and wives talking, French girlfriends talking together, and it was just a very good ambience. I could hear in the background the winners being announced on the podium for the people who had run the run. Who later I would, in a telecabine, in a bubble going down the mountain, I would sit in a bubble with the winner, with the actual winner. He did it in 30 minutes. I did it maybe in about 50, maybe a bit more, who knows. So we get to the end. I'm coming up to the arch. I'm very happy. What I can hear is French voices behind me, but in the distance I can hear the people being called up to the podium by the guy on the microphone. I could hear the kids, the sports clubs kids being called up on their podium. So they've obviously done their best timings as well. These children are amazing. So used to the mountains, so used to sporty activities. It's very good to see. I arrived at the end, and my friends were waiting for me, my pregnant friends and friend with the baby. And I went straight to the food tent and got a snack. They had apples and oranges, they had fruit juice, they had water. There was you got a little baguette with a little bit of sausage in it with the mustard. I never know how they make something so simple, so tasty. Yes, I had just walked 5Ks and yes, I was hungry, but it was still so tasty. So that was it. Everybody was in a good mood. It was all for charity. Odysséa, for breast cancer awareness, and so that our money could go for research treatments. So it was a lovely day. Thank you to the volunteers. Congratulations to the people who won their races, and congratulations to everybody who participated. It was a pleasure. It was a pleasure for me to be part of the ambience and enjoy yet again the beauty that La Plagne has to offer. Anyway, I hope you have a good day, and I hope wherever you are that you are in good health.